Alright guys, sorry about that. So this is gonna be a two-parter instead of a one video, because I'm not going to sit here and let this render all night. So, um, sorry about that. So I'm gonna make part two right away, and part two was supposed to be my third video. Part two is gonna be hard to talk about, because it's to do with why don't we talk about our diseases? Why do we keep this spoiled in? So a lot like I've kind of told you guys, a lot of people don't understand these diseases, and the best way I can describe mine is think of someone that think of your back, think of your spine. You're gonna start from the base of your neck down to your tailbone. Actually, not your tailbone, your lower back. Your tailbone's actually in the front. So you're gonna go up right by your waist. So picture, your spine, and then someone cutting. So that my hand's my spine. So picture that, and then picture someone cutting a knife into your spine, twisting it left and right, and then putting pins in your spine, pins or needles into your spine, all over your back, and then think of not being able to bend, and then someone lighting your spine on fire with a torch. That is the best way I can explain how I feel with this disease. And then you have the fatigue and the hot sweats on top of it. So now the other downside to this disease, which is the hard part I'm going to talk about, is the mental image, or not the image, the mental toll it takes on you and the people around you. So when I was younger, in my mid-20s, late 20s, I would have friends who were like, hey, you want to come out, to the park? You want to come out? And I still have this issue. Do you want to come out for a campfire? Do you want to go to the bar? And I would not feel like going anywhere because I'm in pain and I'm miserable. Like I said, I'm on medicine, but medicine only, these biologics, they only mask, and even pain meds, they only mask the disease. Yes, it goes into remission for a while, but not everyone can go into remission. So, I've had friends that say, you want to come on, do this, do that, and I'll be like, I can't, I'm too stiff, I'm sore, and they don't understand, you know, and even to this day, I still get that. So, months or years go down the line, and they just stop talking to you because they feel like, oh, you don't want to, hang out. No, it's not that you don't want to go and do stuff. It's that you're physically or mentally fucking exhausted. It's not easy when you're flaring to sit down and tie your shoes. It's not easy to get out of your bed in the morning. It's not easy to bend left or right, or sit straight, or go walking, or, whatever the case may be. People don't understand what it's like. And it's not that the person doesn't want to do something, because believe me, I would love, love to have one day pain free, stiff free. One day. That happens very seldom. It happens more and more with now that I'm on a decent biologic, but weather is a huge factor. Again, and I forgot to go over this earlier, weather is a huge factor in flare-ups. So, you know, people don't want to talk. People don't want to talk about the mental side of these autoimmune diseases. It is very, very hard. In fact, I had a person I knew several years ago who got mad at me one time because they wanted me to come out to a campfire and I did not want to because I was flaring. And I said, look, I said, if you can't respect, you know, if you can't respect that I don't want to hang out because I'm in pain, then, there's the door. By all means, kick rocks. I used to not tell that to people, but I've been more and more blunt with how I am. And it one goal I just want from this fundraiser that I'm doing over on Twitch. And I will link my Twitch down below in the description if you want to come over and check out my gameplay sometime, and just chill. One thing I want people to realize is it's not that we don't want to do stuff, it's that we physically can't. And we have to live within our means. And a lot of people won't do that because they feel like they're handicapped, which in some ways you are. But sometimes, not bending is better than bending. As funny as that sounds. If you're flaring, you don't want to get out of bed. When I flare, I'm in bed most of the day. And it can be that bad, where the fatigue, you feel like you're carrying around an excess of 500 pounds on top of what you already carry around, and you're having hot sweats, hot flashes, whatever you want to call them. Night sweats at night, stiffness, pain, all kinds of stuff, and that's the debilitating part. And one thing my rheumatologist talked to me about, and he talks to me about every time, and when I go on to my rheumatologist, I have to fill a 2-page questionnaire. How am I doing, mentally and physically? Because they want to make sure that mentally I'm doing good, and physically, I'm doing the best I can. Because, as my rheumatologist told me, these diseases are very, very debilitating. And what I find even more strange is people are as young as 19 are getting these diseases. Why? Why are people at between the age of 19 and 30, or even 35, I think the highest is, why are people between that age getting these diseases? And as I said earlier, our RA is 5 times higher than it was a couple years ago. So what's going on? Is it the processed foods? Is it pollution? We don't know. And we probably never will fully know because there's not enough research being done. Yes, there's research being done, but it's not. We are so far behind the UK when it comes to medically advanced medication. We are way behind compared to them. So, it's very, very hard. I'm not gonna lie, there are some days I don't want to get out of bed. There are some days that have been even rougher. I'm not gonna go into details, but it's I wish that this disease just never happened. And like I said, if there's one thing I want from these 3 videos that I'm gonna end up posting tonight, they're supposed to be separate days, but I kind of rambled on a little too long, and yeah. But if there's one thing that I want from these videos to get out there, because I know I'm a small content creator. I have 500, 600 followers on Twitch, and I have 13 subscribers on YouTube, or 30 subscribers on YouTube, and I don't post on YouTube at all, so I don't really. I'm not a YouTube person. This is all new to me. Um, I'm a streamer, not a video person, but you guys get an exception this once. So if there's something that I want from this charity, it's not for anyone to feel sorry for me because that's not what I want. I want to spread the awareness because it's not easy. Nothing about this disease is easy, and the more and more people I talk to that are older than me, they're like, "How you have this at such a young life? Why? It's not fair." No, no, it's not fair. It is not fair. And like I said, there's two sides, three sides to this disease. I'm gonna say two sides because technically there's only two, but I would say three. There's the pain side, the fatigue side, and then the mental side. Um, so instead of doing a charity for RA and then my current disease, because each disease has an awareness month, I decided just to do one big charity. Um, so all my proceeds on Twitch are going to the American Research Foundation for RA. It's the Arthritis National Research Foundation. Because I'm doing that over on Twitch. If you guys are interested, you can hit that follow button down below on my link here, and then hit that subscribe button on YouTube. But that's kind of what I got for you. Like I said, these diseases are hard, and I would love to know why have they skyrocketed. Why has RA gone up from, I forget what percentage it was, 5 more percent? Why are we not doing anything about these biologics that cost 20, 30, 40, 50, 15, 17, $18,000? We need to try and advocate for more research, for more guidance on these diseases because so many people are getting them. There is one gene, and I forgot to cover this. There is one gene that is linked to all these diseases, and I believe it's BLA27 if I'm not mistaken, or BLA26 or HBLA or something along those lines. Kids are being born with these diseases. Why? What can we do differently to stop the spread of autoimmune diseases and arthritic conditions altogether? Because the rate that these conditions are skyrocketing, the rate that RA is going, I think I want to say it's 13% or 9% of the United States population. There were over 1.20, I want to say billion people or million, something like that. I have the statistics, and I'll go over that actually, hang on. Let me do that now. Let me just do that now because why are there just so many people that are getting these diseases is what I want to know. So if we go to the place where I like to go, let's see, people have, so 1.3 million Americans, and this was a study that was done, I want to say, and let me get a later study because this one was done in 2019. So this is the study that was done last year. So in 2023. So in 2019, 18 million people worldwide were living with rheumatoid arthritis. About 70% of people living with rheumatoid arthritis are women, and 55% are men older than 55 years. 13 million people with rheumatoid arthritis experience severity levels moderate to severe that could benefit from rehabilitation, while rheumatoid arthritis is a synthetic or systematic autoimmune disease that affects multiple systems. The joints, the hands, the wrists, the feet, the ankles, knees, shoulders, and elbows are more often affected, which is true. My spine is littered with arthritis. You know, it's toast. um, so that's just some of the statistics worldwide. That's not even the United States. If we go to this other study that was done, this was done in 2023 as well. There were 1.3 million people in the United States, and it was launched in 2023. In May of 2023, it was updated. I don't know how long or when they started this, so we'll just kind of have to I'm gonna figure a couple years, because usually they do like 3 years at a time. But this one says 1.3 million Americans, United States, have RA. 25 to 45 years old. So, right around the time I thought I told my primary, hey, something's wrong. Is when I was in my prime to having the disease. That's a staggering number. Now, let me find the other statistic that I had just had the other day. Let's see. I know I had it on my Twitch. So, studies from 2021 to 2003. If we look at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention studies, this is what their numbers are. National average based on their National Health Interview Survey NHS during 2019 to 2021 is when this survey was done. An estimate of 53.2 million U.S. adults, 21.2% had been told by a doctor and diagnosed that they had some form of arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, gout, lupus, or fibromyalgia. Now, fibromyalgia, a lot of doctors still don't believe in. I'm not here to argue that because I don't know enough about it to say yes or no. But all the rest of those, they're all autoimmune diseases. Why are 21.2% of Americans having some sort of autoimmune disease? That was just a couple years ago, guys. What is going on here? And I can view things by state if I really want to, but we're not going to get into that. So from 2019 to 2021, about 24.2% were women and 17.9% were men that were diagnosed with some sort of RA, autoimmune disease, lupus, fibro, whatever, all these diseases. That is a staggering number. 5.4% of the adults 18 to 44 years old reported arthritis. Among adults aged 45 to 64, 1 in 4, 26% reported doctor-diagnosed arthritis. Among adults aged 65 years or older, almost half, 47.3%, reported doctors diagnosing them with arthritis. Okay, I understand as you get older, you get arthritis. But 5.4% of adults, 18 to 44, are reporting arthritis. Why? That's, you may think that's a small number, but that's still quite a chunk of the population. Now, that's from 2019 to 2023. Now we're in 2024, and it's gone up even higher than that. Um, Obesity. During 2019 and 2021, adults who had overweight obesity reported arthritis more often than adults who were categorized as underweight or healthy weight, which is true. Obviously, your weight does factor in a little bit, but it's not the full reason. 15.5 were under slash healthy weight adults reporting doctor diagnosed arthritis. 20.5% of the U.S. adults who were overweight and 27.5 of those with obesity reported doctor diagnosed with arthritis. So, as we know, obesity is huge in America, but I mean, still, like, that's a staggering number. Severe joint pain and arthritis in 2014. Now, 14.6 million adults reported severe joint pain due to arthritis. The percentage of adults with arthritis who have severe joint pain varies by state. In 2021, the percentage ranged from 19% in South Dakota to 46% in Louisiana, based on data from the Chronic Disease Indicators database. That is crazy. Now, how many of these cases result in disability? Because it can happen. In 2012, compared to adults age 45 years and older who do not have arthritis, adults 45 years and over with arthritis were 4 times more likely to have 2 or more falls, 5 times more likely to have falls resulting in injury. So, among the United States adults with arthritis, work activity and social limitations. This is huge because I said the mental part of this disease is not talked about, and social limitations is a big one that is just not, it's not talked about because it's hard on a person with a disease, and this is coming from myself who has one, to talk about this because people don't understand. Work limitations, 30.2%. No work limitations, 69.8%. Activity limitations, 43%. 0.9. No activity, 56.1. That's great. I don't have much of an issue with activity as long as I'm not doing anything too physical. But social, this is just, I can't believe this. 89% of people who have this disease say, and I don't believe this for a minute, say they have no social limitations. I am sorry. I'm going to call that out. I do not believe for a split second that that's true. According to this study, only 11% have social limitations. Now, I'm going to tell you why I think that's not true. Because it's easy for us to hide how we feel. That's why. It is easy for me to sit there and say I am fine when I am not fine. It is easy for someone to sit there and say I'm not in pain when you're in pain. So I do not believe that for a split second. I do not believe that for a split second because you can say you're fine and you're not fine. It is very easy to do. I have done it myself numerous times. So now we get down to the cost of having arthritis. In 2013, we're going back a little bit here, because that's the most recent study. In 2013, the national cost for arthritis We're $304 billion overall. National, not United States. Sorry, national. $304 billion. Arthritis attributed to medical costs were 1.40 billion. Arthritis attributed to lost wages, $164 billion. Wow, just crazy. So those are some statistics for you guys. Again, this is May. This is rheumatoid arthritis awareness month, and this is I made these videos to just kind of make awareness. Even if I get one share, I'm perfectly happy. My first video had like I think 30 views. That's great. I don't care how many views I get. I'm not here for the clout. I'm not wanting people to feel sorry for me. I want people to advocate for more research. Get these prices down. Find out why we are getting RA like we are. Yes, weight has some say in the matter. But I'll tell you what, it's not just the weight. There is more to it. There is a lot more to it. But thank you guys for watching. Again, I'll be doing a fundraiser over on Twitch through the end of the month. So if you watch my story and you wanna know more, you wanna see some great content, I do all kinds of games over on Twitch, Apex, COD, scary story games. I also want to do more fundraising like this because I think it's very much needed. And hope you guys have a great night.